Shall we? Alright, let me pop this back on here. And, well, I've got some food in me, so this is always good. Alrighty, now, let's see. Get this going here. There we go. Okay. Alright, now, of course, we are back with the side quests now. And what I'm going to do is, the way that I did it in my LP, I kind of like the order that I did it to some degree. And to some degree I sort of don't, because what I want to do is I'm leaving the Black Omen for last. That's a certainty. But what I am going to do, as far as the rest of it, is I'm going to go into and do frogs first. And I believe we need to start it, let's see, I think we need to start it either at 600 or 1000 BC. So let's go ahead. Hi-ho, Crow! Now, of course, obviously with this, you need to have Chrono, or you need to have Frog in your party before you do that. I am also, while I'm here, going to go ahead and pick up the treasures that I had left in 600 now that I've picked up their complements in 1000. Once you do that, it will go ahead and open up for you. So yeah, let me go ahead and take the items, because I've already gotten the items proper. Or at least I've gotten the items in 1000, so I don't feel so bad about taking them from 600. Alright, now, go over here and do the same thing in Pore. And I'm going to... that's not it. I'm going to go ahead and do frogs first, because his powered up Mass Immune is among the strongest weapons in the game. The only one that can really match it, actually the only two, are Chrono's Rainbow Sword and the basically powered up Bronze Fist of Ayla. So we'll go ahead and do that first, and then I think I'm going to go through some of the more heavy-ended side quests. For instance, the Genodome, and then the Sunstone and the Tyranno Lair. Alright, but first off, we come here, and we go into these very ruined ruins, which just don't have much of anything for us right now. This is going to be a side quest where you're hopping back and forth between 600 and 1000 AD. Alright, actually, let me sneak Chrono into the party. From here on out, Chrono becomes an optional member of the party. You do not have to have him with you. Granted, it certainly helps, but you don't have to have him with you in order to beat the game from here on out. It just helps. Now, though that attack looks really powerful, what it ultimately is actually just him cutting your HP in half. So it kind of makes you freak out a little bit, but don't freak out too much, because it's not a killer attack, but it will, to some degree, compromise you a little bit. And I'm actually going to do Frog Squash and see if this actually helps out here. Frog Squash! Hooray! The low HP, greater damage attack that apparently doesn't do a thing. Okay. I think the main reason it didn't is because Frog Squash is considered a physical attack, and these guys only react to magical attacks. Alright, that Grudge is going to take me down to... oh, take away my magic, I think. No, just took away my hit points. Never mind. Now, what we're basically tasked with doing is taking these guys out in order to clean this area out for it to be repaired. Alright, now I'm going to start with Luminaire this time, and I'm also going to use Magus' Dark Matter, which I've not used yet. Now, I don't know, this... oh, well, that actually took him out first try. There we go. I'll take that. Now, you can kind of go more no-holds-barred with this area, because what's going to happen is you're going to clean out a little bit of it, and then you're going to go back and apparently fight more enemies. You're going to clean out a bit of it, and then go back and then clean out more of it, and then go back again, and it's going to repeat a few times. Primarily, the goal is to fix the northern ruins, which, as it turns out, is home to, well, something very special, as it turns out, as we will see, and actually a few very special things. And now he's going to steal my magic, which I don't have much of it left anyway, so whoop-de-doo. And then, okay, wow, they're all counterattacking me. Huh. Whatever. No big deal. They're all about to die. I'm about to leave and rest up, and then we'll be good. Alright, now, how, you might be asking, would you be able then to fix the ruins? Well, that actually is where the time traveling comes into play a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and rest at the inn first off. This town is named Chorus, and they apparently have very cheap inn rates, which is nice. Not that we've needed money. And then what we need to do actually is go to the cafe for a second, because Toma's here, who finally, as he mentions, has a lead with a rainbow shell. Now, this part is important for the rainbow shell side quest. You've got to make sure you talk to Toma, otherwise you're not going to be able to do much of anything with it. So that's pretty much taken care of there. And you have this gentleman who has lost his tools. He is the carpenter that's going to help us fix this place up. However, he can't do it because, well, obviously he has no tools. That is where we get to travel in time. So go, not that way, go to 1000 AD. And then basically just make your way over here in the present. You notice that tombstone over there. We'll deal with that later. Ha! Pow! Right in the kisser. Okay, well, not that anybody at Square or Squaresoft condoned violence or anything of that ilk, but you've got this guy here who apparently has drank so much soda that he is on a sugar high. So now, all we have to do is go over and get these things for his wife. Yeah, I think it's... Okay, wait, is this the right one? Oh yeah, this is the right one, okay. Well, it's... To some degree, this is where you're going to see it used for the puzzle solving. I wouldn't quite say it is puzzle solving per se, but if you don't know that you have to go back and forward in time to get the tools and then bring them back, then you can't really solve the quest. So there is that, at least. Alright, so now all we've really got to do is go back to the residence, or go back to the inn, and, not the inn, the cafe, sorry, and then give him the tools. Yes, we'll lend them to you. Yay! So now we've got to go to his house, which, ironically, I think is the same house where the carpenter was in 1000. Go figure. Come on, you lazy blokes! Whatever you say, boss! So, basically, they head over to the northern ruins, and I'm going to cheat and fly there. Although, it really doesn't take that much time anyway. So basically, yeah, that's what we're tasked with doing, is to go into the ruins and basically repair it. That is this quest. Now, once you clean out the monsters in 600, if I'm not mistaken, they are gone in 1000 as well. Alright, actually, for some reason I thought it opened up this part first. My bad. Alright, so I guess what we're looking at is it opened up... Yeah, it opened this up, okay. So what we're looking at then is this is going to open up a couple of areas that we're going to have to clean out here. Now these guys, when I played them in my LP, I nearly died to them. I don't know why, to be quite honest, but they are some really tough characters. At least, again, in a regular playthrough. Now, in New Game Plus, it's going to be a little different, but If you're just playing regularly and you don't have, say, Luminaire yet, then it can be a little more troublesome. But fortunately, fire is very much their weakness, so if you get Magus in your party, he can hit them with pretty much anything and everything. And that makes these guys a lot easier to clean out. Now, unlike the other areas where I would try to skip these battles are required if you want to finish up this side quest. So you do actually have to go through them. However, if you have fast enough characters and you have Magus or Lucia in your party, then this is pretty much easy. This is pretty easy. You're not going to have a lot of trouble with it. Alright, now to take you guys out, which is not going to hopefully take very long at all. Of course, I do have to say, I wonder what these skeletons would be thinking when they got back to the underworld. Hey, dude! How'd y'all die again? We got beat by Dave. Dave, are you serious? Yeah. That has to be embarrassing for them. Poor well, not poor Skellies, they were gonna kill us. Not poor Skellies, but still. And you notice, part of the reason why you want to unlock all these areas is because of the treasures. Especially the sealed treasures that you can get here. Some of these are among the best weapons and armor in the game. Go voice crack. But yeah, some of these are among the best items in the game. Now, basically what you do from there is just go back again and keep talking to the carpenter. Now, he'll charge you 2,000 G a pop, which is not that bad. I mean, the money that we've earned through the game, I don't even know how much we have right now. Okay, we've almost got 100 grand. And that's with me barely spending anything and me not having weapons and armor to buy or sell or what have you. Okay, now I think it opens up the bottom part. So let me go downstairs and check. The bottom part is where things get really fun for Frog. And yes, it did. Okay. Head in here and, well, actually it's good that I've got Magus in the party too, because this makes it even more interesting. Cyrus, the fool who challenged Dave, rests here. Now, if you tried to do this in 1000 AD, you would end up actually fighting against the ghosts of Cyrus, and the battle would come to a draw. You can't win, you can't lose, but you wouldn't be able to get past it. But this is a really cool resolution to Cyrus's saga, I think. And I say this primarily because Cyrus shows up and gives some closure, which is always nice. Heh, Glenn. Yep, thanks for showing up. Dear Cyrus, thou must think ill of me. Ha! Nah, of course not. When Dave defeated me, oh my gosh. Ugh. I thought of all those I left behind. Guardia, Lean. And yeah, Frog/Glenn has proven himself to be the superior swordsman. One other thing I will mention, and I should have actually mentioned it when we were getting ready to potentially fight Magus. If you choose, when you're playing through, if you choose to fight and kill Magus, at the end of the game, Frog will turn back into Glenn. I've never generally done it myself because I like the idea of Magus being in my party a little too much, but there is that. And Frog is always just sorry to the end. But now, the Masamune plays a part in this. Heh, that's it. Yeah, I guess that means that a hero's power comes from within. Mucho metaphysical, man. Like mind over matter, Muni. Or immune? Ha! Yep, absolutely. A yummy full-on test. It's thrashing time. And so, they recombine into a reinvigorated Masamune. And Magus, I love his expression. Magus just kind of looking away like, ugh. Yep, 'tis the true Masamune. And of course, we get Frog's theme playing, we get a new epitaph on the tombstone, and of course, most importantly in this, the Masamune is now a fantastic weapon. Especially with the hero medal equipped, it outstrips pretty much anything you've got, easily. And it makes, in many ways, it makes Frog one of the most powerful physical fighters in the game. Especially given his bent toward defense and attack, and magic even. He's got pretty good magic ability too. He is almost unstoppable at that point. Oh, by the way, the Northern Ruins are then renamed the Hero's Grave. So go through, and this is going to basically be the rest of the side quest. Is really not that much longer. We've just got to repair the ruins. I think, is it one more time? It's one more or two more. I don't remember which precisely. And yes, I'm lazy. I'm flying. Okay. So this is it. This is the last time that it gets repaired. Alright. I couldn't remember if that was the last time or if there was one more. But now we have the whole thing opened up to us, which really what I would do here is go ahead and trigger the chests as we did with the last ones. And then wait to pick up the original treasure. Excuse me, and actually, we can use this as an experiment in regards to whether the treasures in the present affect the treasures in the past. I think if you open them up in the present, you get two copies of it. The one you get in the present and the one you get in the past. But we'll see. But really what we need to do is just head up through here, and I think we've got another encounter or two to deal with before we're finished up. Yeah, we got them, which we can't avoid them, unfortunately. Okay, now these guys, the bases, I remember them being a royal pain in the butt. Now, I don't remember why, but I just remember them being a royal pain in the tail. And you notice, in the side quests, these things are hitting a lot harder because we're getting toward the end game. And, well, yeah, stuff starts getting a bit tougher. Oh, okay, never mind. Good fire attack takes them all out. That works. Thank you very much, Sir Magus. Or Sir Dave. Alright, now, okay, we got one more encounter. Crap. Oh well. But once these guys are cleaned out in the past, like I mentioned, they will be gone in the present, so you won't have to deal with them again. Alrighty, so give me my treasures back, and let me queue these treasure boxes, of course. Alright, so we've got that, and then I'm going to go into the present and take out their current contents, and then I think I'm going to go back into the past, because we've got another side quest in the past that we can do. I'm going to leave that side quest for a little bit later, because, well, it's easy. I mean, it won't take much at all, and I want to get some of the heavier side quests out of the way first. But for all intents and purposes, this one's done. And it took us about 10-15 minutes, so that one's finished up. All we really have to do is go in and collect everything, and then go back in 600 and collect everything again. Alright, I forget what this is. Is this a mega? No, it's an elixir, okay. Now we get, of course, to the big treasures. And it powers up the Nova armor to the Moon armor, which is the best armor for male characters that you can get. The Prism dress is the best character, or the best armor that you can get for female characters. But the Nova or the Moon armor outshines everything else for men. Now the Kali Blade becomes the Shiva Edge, which is a good sword for Chrono, but it is definitely not better than the Rainbow Blade by any stretch. The Siren becomes the Valkyrie, which is Marley's best weapon. As I will demonstrate, she already has one equipped, so I don't really need another one. But yeah, those are the best items you want to get if you are going for, if you're playing through for the first time, you definitely want to grab those. Alright, now, that pretty much finishes this off. That's all I'm going to do for this for the time being. And then I'm going to, let's see, which one do I want to do next? I think I want to go ahead and do the Sunstone and the Rainbow Shell. So to open, I'm going to go ahead and go here, and you notice the tombstone here. What you do is once you talk to it, that is Toma's grave. And of course we have Toma's pop, which he told us to pour on his grave. And once we do, Toma himself appears. Now, to be fair, you actually do not need to do this to open up the Rainbow Shell quest. It simply gives you a better idea of the location. You can fly to the island and actually go into it yourself without having to talk to him. It just, I think it adds a little bit of closure as far as all that goes. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of collecting, but keep in mind, this is all optional. You don't have to do it if you play through, but it really is better, I think, if you do. Alright, next up, now that we've opened that up, I'm actually not going to initiate that quite yet. I am going to head into the future, because, first off, I want to get those doors that we have in the future. We haven't gotten them yet. So, let's see, that is... oh god, this is Genodome. That's not where I want to go yet. I want to go ahead, if you'll remember, we had the doors that were here in Trandome and Bangerdome. That's it. So open them up with the pendant. And we get some items that we can pick up, including, I think there's a tab. I thought there was a tab over here. The Charm Top, which is useful for Ayla. It helps her steal better. Full Ether, and a wallet, which... let me go ahead and show that off here. I'm not going to equip it, of course. But the wallet turns experience into money, which if you're leveled high enough, you can earn money pretty quick. But I'm not really concerned about that, because honestly, after a certain point, you don't really need money in this game. It just becomes, well, whatever. There is one point where money does come in handy in the end game, and we'll get to that eventually, but for the most part, you really don't need it. Alright, now I think, yeah, this room is where the tab is, and it's up there, not down here. Give it to me. Thank you. And then we also can pick up the Gold Stud and Full Ether. Now the Gold Stud is what I have equipped to Marley, and that is the amulet that drops TP usage 75%, which is fantastic for a magic user. Now, I prefer to give Magus the Prism specs because it actually ups his attack and magic to an insane degree. Alright, so where then are we headed next? Well, we're going to go right over here. And I am actually going to not do that. I'm going to, for the first time on the world map, save my game. I don't see myself having problems with this, but just in case I do, or just in case there's any problems with the player, one thing I will mention is it doesn't really matter who you have in your party actually for this fight, but one thing I would suggest if you're playing through for the first time, get Ayla in your party. And also, equip any fire absorption that you have. You should put a primacy on your lowest magic characters because it's going to end up being a real struggle if you don't. Now, the main reason for this, even though you take a serious defensive hit, The main reason is because the boss you're about to fight has a lot of fire techs. And I will show the reason I brought Ayla in just a moment. So we come in, and we end up fighting the Son of Sun. Now this is a rather unusual battle here. You don't actually fight against him right yet. What you do is he does that little roulette shuffle. And the idea behind that is you're supposed to guess which of the fires is the right one. And if you miss, he will counterattack. Now, if you've got the fire absorption stuff on, then you're gravy. This quest is easy. And that's why I recommend bringing Ayla around, because she can steal the black mail, which will absorb shadow. That will come in handy also for another side quest that we have coming up. And crap, I missed 2 of them. Now, he will occasionally switch his roulette around, and when he does that, well, yeah, it's going to be rough, because then you got to start all over again. There we go. Once you do find it, though, get on it immediately. Start attacking it as quickly as you can, because when he roulette shuffles, you're going to have to go after it again. Alright, now, don't roulette. Hopefully I'll be able to get in this attack before he does. Now, it doesn't matter whether you hit him with critical attacks or not. It is... basically, he is going to take the same amount of damage anytime. Alright, so we're roulette shuffled. Let me go ahead and start here again and see how this works out. If it doesn't... nope, okay. You want to basically keep your queue as best you can to try to make sure that you get the right one. Now, it is completely random which one he actually goes to, so take care in regards to that. You're going to have to go back through the retinue once or twice more, I think, before you finish him off. And it happened to be the same one. Wow. Okay, so much for randomness. Now, after X amount of hits, it's going to mention, when it mentions the Son of Sun is losing his flame, then the battle's over. But obviously it hadn't said that yet, so boy. Alright, now Chrono's going to hit, and it looks like, I think Ayla's going to get a turn after him. Or Terra. I keep forgetting to call her Terra. Alright, come on. Come on. Oh, we just got to keep plying at him. This is... once you get the hang of this fight, it's kind of boring, honestly. There's not a huge amount of challenge, especially if you bring along the right mail. If you bring along all the absorption stuff, you're pretty much golden. Okay, there we go. Alright, he's pretty much done. And we emerge victorious with the black mail to add to it, which is nice. Now he runs off and magically, somehow, metamorphoses into the Sunstone, which is now very moony. And of course, it gives you the giant glaring hint as to where to take it. It'll take over 65 million years. Gee, I wonder where we should go, huh? Alright. So, we're gonna head back to, well, the other end of the spectrum, pretty much, as far as time goes. Now, if you talked to one of the characters in the 12,000, they would tell you where to go with this, and that is the island that's actually up there in the top right, in the northeast part of the map. Now, the best way to get to it from here, actually, is to go southwest, go figure, and because, of course, the world is square, nice Final Fantasy VI dig there, or not dig, but a nice tribute, I guess, we have it very close to us. So, we put the Moonstone in there, and well, now we've got to wait for it to basically mature. But May just said it would take over 65 million years, so we're going to go ahead and advance to the future, where somehow the island containing the Moonstone has moved over a few paces. I guess Well, I guess 65 plus million years is enough time for that sort of thing to happen, but yeah, the rock is not here. Somebody took it a long time ago. So, basically, the quest is to go about trying to find it. However, in the interest of time, we're going to zip back to the era where it actually is. It is in the present. Now, how they managed to find it or get to it in the present when there are no fairies except from Guardia de Pore, I'll never know. Now, we see these nice little sparkles here over the mayor's house. That is where the sunstone is. And that is also, believe it or not, where that jerky comes into play. Because, Nico, I know you weren't here at the beginning of the playthrough, at least I don't think you were. If you were, then you saw me cluck like a chicken for the mayor because he's a greedy a-hole. However, if you bought the jerky, and if you gave it to that lady in 600 AD, he becomes incredibly generous. Well, someone just left it here. Why don't you take it? So, we get the Moonstone back, just like that. Okay, yeah. Well, at the beginning of the game, you can go through to, oops, I don't need to do that, go away. You can go to the mayor's house in Pore, and he is a selfish, he's just selfish, he's awful. He'll make you cluck like a chicken for 10G. Now, at the beginning of the game, 10G is a little bit, but yeah, it's not that much. Okay, what you probably saw was the cook giving us jerky in 600, I believe is what you saw. That is different, actually, because you have to use it to move the story forward. This stuff is optional, although very necessary if you want to get the Sunstone. And you notice from that flash when we walked in, the Sunstone is oh, great. Yeah, that's right, I gotta bring Lucia. Fortunately, it's as easy as just switching her into the party, so. Ha, yep. Hey, Rage. Well, I took a little bit of a break at about 4 o'clock. But I've been going for, oh my god, I've been going for over 8 hours now. And I'm just now getting into the side quests, so yeah. Alright, so we now get Lucia / Bly mating, good god, making a really good weapon, the Wonder Shot. That is her best weapon, actually, but it comes with a bit of a twist. Because, well, and then Tabin borrowed some of it, and we get sunshades. So, we are back in the present now, and Tabin's not here. Interesting. Okay. So, that pretty much finishes the Sunstone quest. Now, that actually is not the end of what we will see with the Sunstone. Because now, I'm going to go ahead and go back into the past. And actually, first thing I'm going to do is pick up some of the treasure that I didn't get out of the Northern Ruins. But then we're going to go into the cave here that Toma opened up. Because this, I think, is probably the roughest of the side quests, at least to me anyway. It goes on for a little bit, and it has some pretty tough fights in it. So now, let's go ahead and pick up our other elixir, and as it turns out, well, picking up the treasures in the past, or picking up the treasures first in the present, don't affect them being in the past. Alright, so all we've got to do now is go through more doors and pick these guys up because we've already defeated, of course, all the enemies around them. Now, these basically, really what you want to do is if you plan on playing a New Game Plus that you're playing through Chrono Trigger, what I would recommend is you do the no trick and then get the most powerful of those items and use those items. Have them equipped, and if you beat the game with those items in your inventory, they will remain in your inventory. So what you should do, at least in my mind, is use the most powerful of the weapons, and then keep the other weapons in your inventory until you get to the New Game Plus. Because in a New Game Plus, your money does not come with you. But what